Back with some motherfucking what the fuck is it called? Paranormasight. That's what it is. Took a bit. My trimmer ended up needing a charge. I was shaving or trimming, whatever the fuck. Got done half of my face, then decided to die. So I had to wait for that bitch to charge up. Then I take a shower. Super fucking late. Then I had a code brown situation. It was just bad days, bro. Anyways, we back. Yeah. Paranormasight. Let's open that bitch up. Oh shit. Yeah. We last left off. I don't remember actually. We last left off. Yes. Blood got the phone call that said, play the game after 3 days. Play the game after 3 days. Oh, okay. Yeah, because day one wasn't actually day one technically for the game. Technically, I went in to fucking check settings and shit like that. And then, and then the game thing's day two, or day one is day two in the game's eyes, and this is day two, so this is technically day three for the game. But yeah. Yeah, fuck my hair. I was gonna style it, but I was like, I'm too fucking tired. Or too lazy, sorry. So yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that. Anyways. Yeah, so Blood got a threatening phone call from Nejima. He's out of jail. Obviously, we had saw him on, who are you? Yako's playthrough. So yeah, we're 6 hours in. We have another like 9-ish hours, so I'm expecting this fucking these fucking storylines to get a lot longer. So yeah, let us start with our boy Tetsuo. So this is day 2. Hajime Yoshimi's death, Nejima's threat of mass murder. The problems just pile up, putting the detectives' goals of collecting all the curse stones in jeopardy. Tsutsumi leaves Ario to handle the investigation while he catches a quick break. I also made the camera bigger, so we're gonna have to see if I have to end up making it smaller. No, we good, I think. It just barely, like, fucking doesn't clip. You don't see the fucking down arrow, but that doesn't fucking matter. Sorry for the wait, boss, but I managed to gather some information. Took you long enough. Okay, so yeah, we can't look everywhere. Forensics has finished their investigation and the bodies have been carried away. That said, we're still closing the park to the public, at least for the time being. This was really giving me the creeps last night, but it looks pretty normal now with the sun out. He's been up all night gathering information. Must be nice to be young and have that kind of energy. But I'm glad to have him on my side. It gave me a chance to rest up. Well, we've got ourselves quite the mess. Strange deaths popping up all over the place that may or may not have something to do with the curses. We also need to keep looking into Yoshimi and Nejima. For now, we'd better start following up on the leads we've got. Guess I better see what Ario's found out. Boss, let's not go about this at random. We should think carefully. Yeah. Things at the station were pretty hectic, but I managed to get some info. Let me fill you in. Thanks, the floor is yours. A total of 3 mysterious deaths were confirmed in the area, including the one in this park. So let's start with that one. The young man we found here is identified as Shogo Oki, 25 years old, a regular old office worker who worked around here. He died of asphyxiation due to the water in the lungs. He drowned. So Yoko killed me. Because isn't that the whole... Yeah. That fucking bitch. She killed me. Wow. I thought we had something, bitch. You fucking bitch. Because it's not like when we got our shit, it was on the ground, no? So it wasn't ours, right? Well, then we had that shit with the, like, the fucking, kill them all type shit as well, so. I don't know. He drowned in the middle of the park? That's not possible. It's gotta be a curse we're dealing with here. About that, boss, isn't this park associated with one of the 7 mysteries as well? Yeah, the Whispering Canal. That's right, the Whispering Canal. It does seem like there'd be a link between a canal and a death. Death by drowning, don't you think? Sharp thinking, Ario. You're starting to get the hang of this. So let's assume they're related. What's next? Before that, the body of a woman was found behind a residential complex in Kamizawa. The victim has been identified as Tawako Hayashi, 29 years old. She was an office worker who lived on her own in the area. As for the cause of death, well, yes. The entirety of her body was crushed by some kind of strong external force. No murder weapon was discovered in the area, but considering the way she was found, we're looking for something large, flat, and heavy that could have crushed her in one fell swoop. Hang on, are you saying she was stepped on? Meaning... Which one was it? Oh, that's fire. I don't remember. Oh, the foot washing mansion? Yeah. Yeah, the foot washing mansion. Exactly. Crushing is the foot washing mansion's modus operandi. The place the body was discovered is also known to be related to the 7 mysteries. That is this Namigaki's doing. Shit, I knew he'd used it. Well, yeah, bro. Like, the fucking shit tripped off your lying meter shit. Judging by the amount of soul drags, the victim was just a regular person, not a curse bearer. As we should report to the Paranormal Affairs. Got it. And so for the 3rd victim, who's identified as Kohei Jonoichi. A teacher at Komagata High. He was found in the school's courtyard. Cause of death appears to be external trauma from a fall or heavy blow. The impact crushed his arms and legs. Since he was found in the middle of a courtyard, he couldn't have fallen from the gymnasium or the main building. Teacher dying at school, and not just any school. Komagata House is one of the 7 mysteries. I forget what's her face is. I don't remember. It's the Fool's Procession. Yeah, but that's not it though. Right, it's where the Fool's Procession is supposed to be. It's too big of a coincidence. We can't rule out the possibility that this death was also the work of a curse. But that's like the same fucking shit as that one girl, though. My money's on that it's, because obviously we were at that school with, what's-her-face, right? What's her name? With Yako. And obviously the Nejima. was there as well, and he went back in. So that's probably his echo. Or his curse, sorry. Because but no, then that means that this bitch, that means that the bitch would have also had been, because that's how that girl died, the one that jumped off the building, but she couldn't have jumped off the building. I thought we deduced that. And then, but why would Najima kill that bitch? I mean, their bodies were like nearly exactly the same, so. See, either way, it seems that all three victims can be tied to the 7 mysteries. There's probably a curse bearer at the center of it all, pulling the strings. But you've got to point all these strange deaths to a point in one direction. That's right, and Hajime's case wasn't all different either. He also died of mysterious causes in a place connected to the 7 mysteries. Problem is that the timing doesn't match up. He died before the curses were activated. Okay, so if we all got that shit at the same time, then yeah. Could have been hit by a different curse, one that didn't have anything to do with the 7 mysteries. That's a thought, but if that were the case, we'd be dealing with a powerful practitioner, one who could pull off a curse like that without using a curse stone. There aren't many people in this day and age who could do something like that. Oh really? I see. I don't know too much about that stuff. I'd be more surprised if you did. Guess I better see what Arios found out. Well, looking at these deaths, it seems like many of the curse bearers acted last night, but we can't rule out that there were more killings from which the bodies haven't been found. Yikes, I haven't thought about that. But there's one silver lining. Judging by my own curse stone, it seems that the curses can be activated while the sun is out. Oh, that's great news. So basically we're safe during the daytime? Exactly. It's also likely why Nejima gave us till dusk. Ah, he must have known the curse stones couldn't be used during the day. Either way, we got till nightfall to settle this. It's time we flushed out the other curse bearers. Aye, boss, let's do this. At the moment, we only know the identity of 4 curse bearers, you included. Yutaro Namigaki had the foot washing mansion, and Hideki Araishi had the ever-burning lantern. We got both of their curse stones, and then there's Nejima, who claims he has the one-sided reed. Yeah, that's about sums it up. Yeah. Well, we know who the Whispering Canal is. But he just didn't get it. We're assuming he's Yoko. We better figure out who the remaining 5 are quick. How should we go about looking for them? There's no point in searching blindly without a lead. Let's focus on other things for now. Tracking down Nejima may lead us to the other curse bearers as well. Either way, he should be our top priority. He could do some real damage if we don't get him. I also want to look a little more into Yoshimi. I've got a feeling there's some connection there. Aye, boss. Sounds like we've got a work cut out for us. It's also, I remember them saying like, that, what was it? I remember someone saying that like you can like lend powers, or I remember reading something like if you were like so fucking like strong or some shit that you can lend your curse. It's just, I don't like, it doesn't make sense how we could have killed Yoko. Obviously we didn't see the autopsy for Yoko because it didn't pass a day, but I don't know. I mean, she looked the exact same way as Shogo, so. I asked around Sumina's Community Safety Bureau where Yoshimi was stationed. It seems like he was investigating the apparent suicide of a girl named Michio Shiraishi. Oh yeah, I heard about that. He was trying to determine whether it really was a suicide, looking into the height of the building, the force of the impact, her wounds, all that. He must have suspected some kind of foul play because he ordered a full investigation. It had already been deemed a suicide and his superiors told him not to go stirring things up. What was the evidence? Well, according to the report I found on this desk last night, the body was found at the foot of a building a ways away from the road. There was no evidence of vehicular collision, so it was ruled a suicide, but he thought there was more to it. Yes, a truck or other flat-faced vehicle traveling at high speeds could have inflicted similar damage. In other words, sometimes a traffic accident can look an awful lot like a fall. So there is a chance that it wasn't a suicide. What a terrible way to go. There were no brake marks on the road, meaning it would have been a hit and run. The vehicle would have hit her without slowing down at all. This is turning into quite the grisly case. The vehicle couldn't have come out from collision like that unscathed. Exactly, so I asked the traffic bureau to keep an eye out for any vehicles with frontal damage, but I haven't heard back from them yet. I don't think they're looking very hard, so we've got no proof. That said, if it was a traffic accident rather than a suicide, it's possible that someone silenced Yoshimi because he was on the verge of discovering the truth. That's true. You think the driver is the one who did him in? Not quite. Yoshimi had already talked to forensics and the traffic bureau, right? His death wouldn't have covered things up. You're right on that. Even if the suicide was a cover-up for the hit and run, it doesn't seem enough of a reason to kill a cop. Oh, that's right, unrelated, but I got something else as well. I managed to get a hold of Michiu Shiraishi's address. Yoshimi went there a bunch over the course of his investigation. It might be a good idea for us to drop by too. Good thinking. Hopefully that'll give us some more leads. All right, let's move on to the next topic. Nope, let's just keep on this Hajime shit. Remember the girl Yoshimi met with the day he died? One Hitomi Okuda. Community safety didn't have any contact information of her on hand, not even an address. Well, they had her parents' information, but when I called, they said they hadn't heard from her in a month. Lots of family issues from the sound of it. They even said they didn't want anything to do with her anymore. That said, she still goes to school once in a while, so we might be able to find her there. Not sure we really have the time for a stakeout right now, but she could be a key witness. Can't we have community safety tracker down for us? We can, but it might be tricky to get it done today. For starters, Komagata High School is closed today. Because of the teacher that died. That's right. Alright, but if it's not something we can do today, we may have to forget about it. Let's move on then. Oh, shit. I got some information about Yoshimi's fiance from the community safety. Her name is Mayu Chozawa, 27 years old. She works as a beautician in the area. Look, I even managed to get a picture of her. She sure is a beauty. But, oh boy, here it comes. But what? Community safety hasn't been able to contact her since Yoshimi died, not by phone or at her house. In other words, no response, dead silence. There it is. Can't things just be easy for once? Mayu is a beautician and fiance of Hajime Yoshimi. Police officer with the Sumida Police Department. Mayu's current whereabouts remain unknown. It's definitely starting to look suspect. A crime of passion, perhaps. It's fairly common for people to be killed by a lover or spouse. But Yoshimi was well liked and they'd been together for over 10 years. You never know, things could be different behind closed doors. I guess so. But we'll have to consider the opposite scenario as well. It could be that the same person who was out for Yoshimi is after his fiance as well. She could be in danger. You're right, either way she's important to the case. HQ already has people looking for her. We'll know as soon as she's found. Umichika Najima. HQ has mobilized a search unit for Nejima, but so far we haven't received any word. Guessing he wasn't at home or at work? About that, apparently he vacated his last known address a week ago. You serious? Or we have no idea where he lives? It gets worse. I checked in with the factory he was working at. They told me he was only there for a month before he quit. Hold on a second, you're telling me nobody caught that? Well, I had the same thought, so I spoke to his probation officer. Turns out he'd been doing house visits and interviews, but never bothered checking on his workplace. Motherfucker. He also said he'd lost track of Nejima when he moved to a new place. Jeez, that's just sloppy. I've heard that they're giving that they're giving parole to just about anyone these days because they're running out of room in the prisons. Which also means that there aren't enough probation officers to go around. Dude's probably overworked. So Nejima's got to fuck about unsupervised, goddammit. That asshole's annoying, good at faking remorse or insanity, whatever the situation calls for. Back when I arrested him all those years ago, just talking to him left a bad taste in my mouth. He's probably hiding under a false name, which will make it hard to track him down. That explained why he's so brazenly made contact. That asshole, he's mocking us. Well, for now, the paperwork to circulate his name and mugshot is being filed. That's gonna take way too long. We only have until dusk. Well, do we have his photo? Speaking of Nejima, yep. Did you manage to reach your daughter? It'd be best to put her in a protective custody as soon as possible. Not yet. I can't reach her. They called, but she's not picking up. Wasn't home when they went to the house either. That's not good. Does that mean she never came home? And why weren't you the one to try reach her? Shut up. I don't have her contact info, alright? Damn, she really doesn't trust you, huh? Either way, I told her mother that it was an emergency and that we'd send an officer to her and get her to safety. She was real reluctant, but I got her to agree. I guess that explains why you got divorced. But if you, her former father, can't find her, how the hell did Nejima do it? Former, eh? That cuts deep. Yikes, sorry, it just kind of slipped out. Anyways, I suspect it has something to do with his curse echo. Back on topic already, huh? He says curse could kill a lot of people in a short time. It may even allow him to act from a distance. I see. The one-sided breed. What was that story about again? Something about a man stalking a woman who goes insane and chops her up. Alright, one of the more gruesome of the 7 mysteries. The most gruesome. As for Nejima's whereabouts, all we can do is throw more people at it till we find something. I'll check in with HQ frequently to see if they've got any updates. And that's about it. Shall we continue our investigation? We should go to Komagata High School to look into Hitomi Okuda or to Michio Shiraishi's house to find more about her. There's a lot we need to do, but not a lot we can do. This ain't looking good. We're gonna run out of time if we don't do something. Gotta keep moving. Ah, shit. Well, let's get everyone else on track. Bringing her friend back from the dead means she'll have to pay the price. Yako makes it home safely, but still isn't sure about how to proceed with her curse. She worries about Mio as the night passes. Oh, we see Mio in that picture, so I'm assuming she's alright. She's right there. Oh, good morning, Yako. Huh? Yako, rise and shine. Huh? You're up. Huh? It's morning. Are you okay? Can you remember your name? I'm Yako. The fuck is your name? I'm assuming he's the only one that said Yako, but I just want to get the last name right. Yeah, Sakazaki. Yeah, like I said, it's only Yako one, but yes, I'm Yako Sakazaki. Good, seems like you're fully awake. Oh, Mio, thanks for last night. Was everything okay? Yep, still alive. I couldn't dispel the curse echo or learn the identity of who used it, but I managed to at least get away. When that situation is the best you can hope for. Oh, so it was... yeah, because her leg was cut. I don't remember if her arm was cut off. Yeah, so it's definitely... Obviously, the reed shit. There was no, like, he wasn't even in the fucking building when he did it. Like, I was trying to think of the requirements. Maybe it just has to be dark? Like, super fucking dark? I don't know. Sorry I got you involved in something so dangerous. I meant to look for you because it was the fucking screen of Yako and Mio, and then behind us was the fucking demon shit. I went to look for you as the sun rose, but I was just so sleepy. I can't even remember when I fell asleep. That's okay, it's only natural to be exhausted after what you went through. Besides, I also feel bad that you've been wrapped up in all of this. It's supposed to be my job to prevent that from happening. Oh yeah, you said something about that last night. Just, who are you exactly, Mio? Oh, well, the truth is I've been trained in things having to do with the supernatural. Huh? You mean you can learn that kind of stuff? Like you would with the flower arranging? I had quite the eventful childhood. That sounds like it must have been tough. Yes, it would take a long time to explain, so let's leave it at that for now. As fate would have it, I've ended up as an apprentice or maybe more like an assistant to a notable paranormal expert. Schools have always had more paranormal disturbances because young people tend to be more susceptible to these things. I'm sent to schools that may experience something paranormal and put a stop to it before it happens. Wow, that's amazing. So it's like a part-time job you do while also being a student? Well, I do help maintain public order, but it's all part of my training, so I don't get any money. Oh, you've got it rough. Then, but still, that really is amazing. You were so cool when you faced off against that evil spirit. I never know if I should be happy when you compliment me like that. But anyways, that's why it's up to me to resolve any paranormal issues at the school, and why I'm going to look into the cause of this. But for now, let's head to school. Yeah. Do you have your curse stone? Now that it's daytime and its power's diminished, I should be able to hold on to it. I want to give it a try. Right, I do have it, but... ... Yako? Is it really so wrong trying to bring Michio back, I mean? ... I can't approve of it. The right may seem like a dream come true, but if it involves taking the lives of other people, then... Yeah, true. I want to make sure this whole ritual ends without anyone getting hurt. That's what I believe, and that's what I'll put before anything else. ... I'm sorry, but is it okay if I hold on to it? Yako. I promise I won't use the curse no matter what, but maybe there's some other way. I just have this feeling that I shouldn't give up on the possibility just yet. That said, I'll help you, even if it's to stop the curses. For the Michio that still exists with me, I'll settle things so that we can move forward. ... Okay, but if you ever feel in danger, you can give me the curse stone at any point. Right? Thank you, Mio. Okay, now let's go. I know if any old-fashioned candy shop located on a street corner in Honjo. It has been in Yako Sakazaki's family for 3 generations. Though traditional candy shops are known for selling cheap treats for kids, it's not uncommon to see these large privately owned businesses become something more like a general store, selling food, drinks, utensils, and other necessities. Many families operate candy shops on the dirt ground floor on their homes, known as a doma, with a space in the back where customers can eat monjayaki, as well as arcade games and capsule toy machines in the front. Such facilities make them attractive places for children to gather and play. However, the harsh reality is that traditional candy shops, which thrived during the period of high economic growth when many confectionery manufacturers entered the market, are experiencing a steady decline due to the rise of convenience stores and changes in children's interests and tastes. Yako Sakazaki, 8 a.m. Well, you guys are gonna fucking get a rude awakening when the teacher's fucking dead. Huh? I thought it unusually noisy. There's a big group of people and police in front of the school. Did something happen? If the police are here, then something must have. I'll go ask. Thanks. This isn't good. Oh, what happened? Don't panic, okay? The first teacher who came to work this morning found something. Okay? Mr. Junoichi was found dead in the middle of the school grounds. What? They're closing the school for today. But that's not all. I didn't know this either since I didn't watch this morning's news, but rumors are spreading that a number of bodies were found nearby. What? There's no way. What? Why could it be? Because of the curses? We don't know enough to say. From what I heard, Mr. Junoichi was in the middle of the grounds, but his body was covered in bruises like he'd fallen from somewhere high. Weird. Taking into account his unusual death and the timing, it's very likely it has something to do with the curses. You're saying someone used this curse on him last night? Seems like it, doesn't it? But that's so scary. Yeesh, did the curses really... Yeesh, so the curses really do kill people. And someone used it. Shh, keep your voice down. What would happen if another curse bearer heard you? Eep, sorry. Kohei Junoichi. Was an honor student, yeah. Never inspired, yeah. So what the fuck updated? I feel like oh, it's just this. He was seen alone with Hitomi Okuda in a classroom late at night. His deceased body was discovered on the school grounds at dawn. I wish we had a little more information, but they've locked up the front gate. Maybe we could sneak in through the back entrance. That person over there. Isn't that Hitomi Okuda? You're right, that's unusual. Oh, but she was at the school last night too. She must know something about Mr. Junoichi. Let's see what she has to say. Like, it could have been like that guy tried to make a move on this bitch and she fought him off and then somehow managed to get to the roof and then push his ass off. Seems unlikely considering that they were on the second floor, so that she'd have to fight him all the way to the fucking roof and then throw his ass off, you know? I mean, away from me. If she's unscathed, then I highly doubt it. Huh? It's more likely the fucking Nejima. But he just didn't use his power, he just threw his ass off. So you're telling me the two of you were the ones at the school last night? No sense hiding it then. Plus, I owe you one, Mio. I'll tell you everything I know. Thank you. She owes you? Oh, yeah, right after I transferred here, there was a bit of trouble. She gave me one of those, what was it? Oh, exorcisms. Huh? So that's what it was. Junoichi's death. Did you hear about Mr. Junoichi? I heard about it. I've known about it since last night. I saw that asshole bite it on the school grounds myself. What? You saw it happen? Tell us about it. What exactly happened? Exactly. Don't really know myself. It was pitch black. What can I tell you? It was almost dawn, probably around there. He started freaking out all of a sudden, ran out to the ground like something was chasing him, then screamed. Ah, somebody help me. Forgive me, Michio. Michio. Or something like that while he was running around. Michio? He mentioned Michio. Was there anyone else on the grounds? It was too dark to see from where I was. But for just a second, I think I saw a girl in a school uniform with her hair in braids. I didn't go out to make sure. It could have been nothing for all I know. Then I heard him begging for his life, like I was wrong and I'll do anything. Then all of a sudden, his arms and legs snapped even though he was just standing there. His arms and legs broke without anything being done to him. He fell over and quit moving, so I thought I'd better get out of there. Then he croaked, and that's all I saw. I see. But from what you've told us, it almost sounds like Michio's ghost chased down Mr. Junoichi and killed him. Hell, if I know anything about that, I'm just telling you what I heard him say. I don't... As I bump this fucking mic again. Kills by fatal fall. One who hears it music for 30 seconds without seeing the curse bearer. See, because we haven't seen this power in action, right, as where we've seen the other ones. It could be this, right? Like you, by a fatal fall, you just don't see them fall. You just see the, like, them. You don't see them fall from a high fucking location. You just see them fall from where they're standing. That could explain it. It doesn't explain What's-Her-Face's death, though. Unless if the curse bearers were... who were active before last night. It's not this because, like, they weren't crushed. Like, they made it seem that the guy that got crushed was absolutely fucking flattened. She also says she saw another girl. It also could be that, well, they already said there's 9 curses in, out and about. Technically, there's 15, but we don't know about that shit. Did you tell the story to the police? Nope, and I ain't gonna. I can't count them for shit. Not like they believe such an insane story anyways. Right. Well, there must be at least one person the police were trusting, right? ... Yeah, I guess. There was this one cop who always got on my case about stuff. But he died just the other day. Oh, he did? I'm sorry to hear that. Everyone who gets involved with me ends up dead. Maybe I really am cursed. Pisses me off. You've got it all wrong. The spirit that possessed you wasn't that kind of spirit. Huh, it wasn't? Yeah, this was just an unfortunate coincidence. Though I'm sure that was hard enough for you. ... So she actually was cursed. That's all I know about that asshole's death. Hey, Mio, I've been thinking of something. The way she described it reminded me of something. The way Mr. Junoichi died sounded a lot like how Michio died. Of course, I didn't see it myself, but the state of Michio's body was it was like she had fallen from a high up. Could they have been killed by the same curse? That's what I'm saying, so, like... Oh, shit, it seems like you're cursed, bitch. I don't think so. The curses of the 7 mysteries hadn't manifested when she died. And if we can trust what the spirit board said, then Michio died in an accident. Yeah. We can assume that's the crazy guy, right? Like, and he's just following a... What do you call it? Like, you know how, like, some murderers have, like, tells and shit like that they do certain shit, you know, like, oh, but they... Like in Home Alone, whatever, the burglars, right? They fucking always clog up the fucking, the sinks, or, you know, they always have, like, a fucking signature on that shit, basically. So he could just been copying that. The Najima could have just been a copycat killer, but he also said he saw a girl with braids, so... Do we have a picture of, what's her face? I don't think we have a picture of the dead chick, huh? Well, there's the braid. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that would explain the girl that she saw. And we trust, yeah. Oh, right. That's all I know about that asshole's death. Hey, tell me, were you possessed by some kind of evil spirit? I don't understand it all too well myself. What I can say for sure is, thanks to Mio, the weird symptoms that were happening to me all went away. Yep, some people are born with a natural sensitivity to the paranormal. They tend to end up isolated as they struggle to relate to the people around them. They also tend to draw spirits to them naturally. This can cause strange symptoms they don't understand, like headaches, muscle stiffness, and hallucinations. Damn, I feel some muscle stiffness too. Maybe I'm possessed. That wasn't a sex joke. It's just my back has been hurting. I'm sure it must have been very hard. So that's how it works, huh? Do people have their personalities taken over when possessed as well? It is possible spirits who have very close relationship to their targets, like siblings or a parent and child. We almost never hear about people being taken over completely. It's when the two parties aren't in sync that those negative effects can start to appear. So the seances or whatever you see on TV are all bogus? Not quite. There are mediums and diviners who can align their minds with the spirits they call. Though there are people on TV who are just putting on a performance. Huh. There are people who in life had extremely powerful spirit sense or a deep connection with the person. But even they shouldn't be able to completely take over the person they possess. And even if they could, it'd only be enough to pressure them to choose certain behaviors that wouldn't be unusual for them to do on their own to begin with. But if that's the case, wouldn't you not know if you were choosing that behavior of your own will or if you were choosing that behavior of your own will or not? Hence why there are a lot of cases where people don't even realize they're possessed. Though the spirit may influence the behavior and memories of the host, the deeper their connection in life, the easier it is for that to occur. I see getting possessed by a spirit is pretty complicated, huh? I'm not gonna throw that shit away when it comes to Yako here, because when she came back, when we fucking joined her again at the beginning of the story, she seemed out of it. So she doesn't meet the criteria of having the braid, but he could have been hearing the song, I guess, right? Like, it doesn't seem like there's, we haven't seen her use her power, so we don't know the specific shit with it. But has it been tough for you being possessed for so long, Hitomi? Whatever might happen to me, it doesn't make any difference. Me being able to see the spirits and stuff has nothing to do with how things ended up like this. Yeah, it's not like being able to see them is your fault either. The same goes for me. Maybe it's just something we have to live with. I think you have a knack for it yourself, Yako. I bet you could see them too with a little training. I think I may pass. So that's why you do the job you do, huh, Mio? I thought she was a weirdo when she showed up, all of a sudden saying she was gonna exorcise me. If you hadn't said anything, I probably would have knocked your lights out. You tried to perform an exorcism on her without telling her anything? You see, in my experience, most people don't understand no matter how much I explain. They only accept my explanation after they see the results. Huh, I guess that makes sense. The classroom last night. It told me last night before you witnessed Mr. Junoichi collapse. Can I ask what he and you were doing in the classroom? You gonna tell the cops? Oh, right, with everything that happened with Mr. Junoichi. They'll suspect you if we told them we saw you with him last night. Anytime something happens with someone like me, all those shitty adults start jumping to conclusions. I understand, I won't tell them. You wouldn't have been able to kill him anyways. ... If you say so, then I don't mind telling you about it. So last night, that piece of shit Junoichi called me over here, acting like he was gonna attack me or something. What? How terrible. Whatever, I'm glad he's dead. He had it coming. Calling people worthless and a cancer on society when he doesn't know shit about them. That asshole was the one always acting like scum, if you ask me. Is that so? Could you tell us in more detail why he called you out in the middle of the night? It's hard to explain where to start. My bad. See, just like check mark some shit for now, put like a different color check mark, or, you know. What did you mean by Mr. Junoichi acting like scum? Was he doing something bad? ... You know Michio Shiraishi, right? The girl who killed herself? Huh? Michio? I don't know everything, but that creep of a teacher had some dirt on her. And he was using it to blackmail her, call her up after school, and make her do whatever he wanted. What? What do you mean when you say whatever he wanted? I'll leave it to your imagination. Nothing that a couple model students like you would ever get involved in. No way, that's... How? What do you mean by dirt? I don't know anything about this. How could I not have known about this? Yako and I know how you feel, but try to calm down. You got guts acting like you were a friend. Junoichi really did a number on both Michio's body and soul. ... She probably felt she couldn't tell anyone, like she had to suffer alone. No, how terrible. Hey, tell me, how did you know about this? I just happened to walk in on it. I know the spots around school people go to when they want to stay out of sight. He ran off in a panic when I yelled at him asking what he was doing. Walked in on it? I couldn't just leave her alone looking like she was about to cry, so I stuck around for a bit. She told me everything that happened in whispers. She probably figured I wasn't the type to spread that stuff around. But she never asked for my help. She told me that she was fine and to keep it a secret. But Chia, why? She probably thought she just had to grit her teeth until it was through. She was naive. I tried to tell her that if you give guys like that an inch, they'll take a mile. She kept saying about how it was her punishment. She was soft. No. Of course, Junoichi didn't change. He kept on doing what he was doing. I don't understand either of them, but that's as much as I was involved. And then she killed herself. Nothing I can do about it now. It also could be, like, it could be her, right? It could just be, like, with Mio saying the shit happens all the fucking time, apparently. It could just be a straight up different curse unrelated to everything, right? It's just to coincide at the same time because of that fucking storm shit that someone made. We also don't know who fucking summoned that either. So, yeah. Tell me, if you knew about it, then why didn't you... You're trying to say it's my fault? She told me not to say anything. She told me she was fine. So what the hell more responsibility do I have other than what I already did? Yako, there's no point in blaming Hitomi. But Chia, why? Did you hear what this dirt was? Nope, never heard what it was. But from the sound of it, he'd been blackmailing her since about a year ago. For that long? The dick probably caught her doing something she shouldn't have been. She looked well behaved, but there's more to a person than meets the eye, you know? There must be some reason. Don't know, got nothing to do with me. I guess it's just her relationship with Nejima, right? Like, obviously she helped him. She helped him kidnap what's-his-face. Obviously we don't know the circumstances, but you know. So last night, how did it start? Ah, right. Remembering that nosy cop I mentioned who was always on my case? He died at the former Yasuda Gardens a couple days ago. Yoshimi was his name. He was a part of the juvenile division. He didn't look like a cop at all. Real rough guy, but good at looking out for folks. So he was the only one I could talk to. So there was someone like that with the police. Too bad he ended up dying. Oh, another thing. One time he suddenly introduced his fiancée to me. It was hilarious seeing a big guy like that act like a shy little kid all of a sudden. She told me that she was like me when she was my age and that she was on my side. Must have been a terrible loss for her as well. Yeah, I do feel a little bad for her when I think about it, how bad she must be, or how bad she must feel. And I saw him at the gardens the night he died. Oh no, you did. Whenever I would get worked up over something, Yoshimi always took me straight to that part. And he listened to whatever it was I was pissed off about. A day he called me over there just like usual, but something seemed off about him, like he was worried about something. Worried about something? Yeah, he asked me for a favor too, that was pretty unusual. A favor? What kind of favor? He handed me a weird talisman and asked me to hold on to it for him. A talisman? Yeah, just a normal good luck charm. I figured if that's it, then sure, I'll take it. I have it with me now. But that wasn't all. Then he told me that he wanted me to look for a talisman that Michiyo Shiraishi had that looked like this one. Huh, Michiyo? What does she have to do with this? Yoshimi had been meeting up and talking with her. While they were together, he noticed that she had a special talisman or something. But apparently Michiyo always avoided the subject, a talisman that Michiyo had. He knew that I knew her, so that's why he asked me. He said, could there have been something that Michiyo couldn't tell even the police about? You know, things at home were a little complicated. From what I heard, Michiyo was keeping her mouth shut about what Junoichi was doing to her. Hard to talk with the cops when someone's got dirt on you, and I didn't squeal on anything about Michiyo either. ... Michiyo, what is it that had such a strong grip on you? So basically, Yoshimi didn't just have his eye on Michiyo, but her talisman as well. But after she died, he didn't know where it ended up. So since I knew her from school, he wanted me to look into it for him. Is there something special about the two talismans? I wonder why he gave it to you. Hell if I know. When I looked inside, if there's just a weird kind of grimy scrap. When I looked inside it, there's just a weird kind of grimy scrap of wood. So you've seen inside it. But from the way he was acting, it seemed important to him somehow. But to be honest, what he was asking is such a pain in the ass. I figured he had to be serious about it. Oh, and since he died right there after that, yeah, he even said to me, if anything happens to me, take those 2 talismans, give them to a guy named Nakagoshi at the police department. Knowing what I know, he probably felt that something was gonna happen to him. Nakagoshi. Do you know him, Mio? No, I've just heard the name, I think. So there really is a Nakagoshi. That's a relief, at least. Anyways, it didn't feel right just ignoring a dead guy's last request. Hey, Tommy. Yep. The talisman, would you mind if I had a look at it? Sorry, but I don't trust you all that much yet. It's important to me. Oh, okay. So last night you were looking for the talisman that Michio had? Yeah. And I figured that piece of garbage teacher would know the most about Michio. ... I asked him yesterday afternoon if he knew anything about her talisman. He gave me some cryptic response like, I can't talk about it now, come to school tonight. He even gave me the code to the lock on the back entrance. He seemed pretty willing to give it out, so I wouldn't be surprised if he used it for secret meetings before. Yuck, I can only imagine. We climbed over the front gate to get in. So yeah, we met up in the classroom in the middle of the night, but nothing he said made any sense. Like, that I was really Michio and stuff like that. He went on and on about how it was my fault and that if only I hadn't been around or something. He grabbed a hold of me, breathing heavily. Eep. Were you okay? Yeah, that's right, when you 2 showed up. I was able to get away while Junoichi was freaking out. Oh my gosh, good thing you got away. So it's really all thanks to you 2 that I got away. But I didn't get any info about the talisman, so the whole thing was sort of a bust. Afterwards, I was wondering what you were up to, so I hid nearby. And I saw you and the old man Ashimiya talking, and then Mio showed up. Oh, you did? That's also why I saw Junoichi come back outside and bite it. I see. So you were the only here to look for Michio's talisman. I was dumb to fall for that creep Junoichi's trap so easy. It could have gone a lot worse, but I lucked out. What you described does sound like Michio killed Mr. Junoichi. She did have a reason to hate him after all. No way, you mean that really was her ghost? Like, for real? Those who die bearing strong resentment or regret can occasionally become spirits, either bound to a place or roaming freely. However, it'd usually be impossible for them to kill the living. Most don't have that kind of power. But it's possible they could possess someone close to them to act on those lingering regrets. Huh. Wonder if that's what happened. Alright, then supposing what the spirit board said is true and Michio's death was an accident, then she must have had some regrets. If she really hadn't given up on living, that is. I don't think she was the kind of girl who would just give up no matter what the situation. I don't really know, but she didn't seem like she had something tormenting her so much that she'd kill herself. I mean, it's also, like, we don't know. And that's all I know. Happy? I still gotta look for the talisman. Sure, thank you, Itomi. Oh, if you 2 find out anything about Michio's talisman, I'll be sure to let you know. Thanks. Oh, can we get your contact info? Where can we normally find you? Right, I'm not home most of the time. Usually I'm at a friend's place. Here's the phone number. Appreciate it. Thanks, we'll call her if we need to talk with you. And, what is it? You're easier to talk to than I imagined. I was kind of scared at first, but not anymore. Shut up. You were the one avoiding me. Anyways, catch you later, and don't die out there, okay? Thanks, we'll be careful. Alright then. We got a lot of new information. Sounds like Mr. Junichi was killed by a curse, just as we thought. Which means there was a cursed bear at the school. Multiple, in fact. Multiple, you think so? Yes, the curse cycle we experienced in the school and the one that killed Mr. Junichi seem to be different. The people in the school at the time other than us were Mr. Junichi, Hitomi, and old man Ashimiya. I was thinking it would be among them, but there was one more person. Hitomi saw a girl in a school uniform with braids. From what Hitomi was saying, it doesn't seem like she's one. Mr. Junichi is pretty suspicious, though. If he were a curse bearer, it would certainly explain why he was killed. Right, that's why I say there are multiple. Alright, the person who killed Mr. Junichi would have to be the one too. Which means it must be either the mysterious girl or old man Ashimiya. Yeah, we should certainly be careful of them. That said, the mysterious girl and the fact that Mr. Junichi thought it was Michio that was attacking him has me wondering. Of course, I doubt Michio herself was actually there, but... Oh, I just remembered. I also saw Mr. Ariishi outside the main gate last night. You did? It's likely he's involved with the curse. I completely forgot about that. He's the one doing research on the rite of the resurrection. What was your power? Ariishi. The ever-burning lantern. Okay, so yeah, the thing that makes it so you can't see shit. He goes by disembowelment, one who finds themselves trapped in the darkness or of the curse echo. Yeah, he was. Oh, wait, but he might have not had his ship by then. And he could have been going to get a new one, maybe? Because he was like, oh, well, who's going to be at the fucking school? Obviously, we can't see the story chart right now, but, he might have been unarmed. We ought to be careful with old man Ashimiya and Mr. Ariishi. I want to believe that not all curse bearers will be hostile, but as for what to do now, I'd like to find out who is responsible for the Feast of Shadow that set this off and how they did it. I don't think that we'll be able to end this without stopping it at its source. Huh? That makes sense. In which case, next we should do what exactly? We'll need to talk with Mr. Ariishi. He definitely knows something. Should be safer during the day, so I think we should try to look for him. Got it. I'll help in any way I can. But the school's closed. I wonder where he could be. Try heading someplace someone may know where he is. Where to go then? Ah, shit. Where are we? It doesn't tell us, so... Ryogoku Bridge it is. 9 a.m. Ryogoku Bridge. And so, Miyoko Kurosuzu and Yako Sakazaki decide on their next location to investigate. Was it just because of the location I chose, or... I'll come back another time. That's a big jump. I think we're gonna go here. With dusk fast approaching, they have no time to waste. With that in mind, Tsumi and Ario direct their investigation towards Komagata High School and the Shiraishi residence. Well, let's head to the school first. Komagata High School. Here we are, Komagata High. Classes are suspended for the day, so the students are just kind of wandering around aimlessly. The news of the dead teacher has also attracted a fair share of rubberneckers. The atmosphere is kind of tense with this many cops around. School gate will stay locked while forensics inspects the scene of the incident. Looks like they're still busy. Let's talk with the person in charge later. Komagata High Gymnasium also serves as a polling place and evacuation center. A lot of the building around here A lot of the buildings around here are still made of wood, but this place looks safe and sturdy. Yoshimi also looked out for these students as Sumida City's officer. Juvenile delinquency has been a growing problem for years now. The school is no exception. The midpoint of the show era saw a marked increase in delinquency among young people. A wave of violent incidents targeting teachers as well as students and often involving weapons consumed the nation's middle and high schools. Bosozuko motorcycle gangs also enjoyed their heyday around this time. Japanese arrest rates reached a historical peak during this period, and pompadoured Yankees and female sukaban delinquents became a common sight on the streets. This youth rebellion is often framed as a reaction to universal education policy or the pressure of highly competitive entrance exams, but its causes are likely manifold, extending far beyond the deficiencies of the educational system. Loud as shit. The fucking volume's on 1 as well. Fucking crazy. And it's only this fucking soundtrack to do it. Ideally, we could talk to someone who was involved in the incident. Easier said than done, though. There's something on my shirt? Don't tell me I stink. This place isn't only connected to the case because the students were under Yoshimi's jurisdiction. It's also the site of the Fool's Procession, and of course, where that teacher was killed. It seemed like a likely place to find some clues, don't you think? Alright, speaking of schools, what is it? You said Paranormal Affairs can't help us right now, so why don't you get that psychic high schooler you mentioned to help us? A lot of people involved in this case lead back to this school anyway, so it might make things easier to have them with us. For a guy who questioned me on the legality of working with them, you sure seem eager to exploit underage labor. Hey, who said anything about exploiting them? I just want to give our young experts the opportunity to shine. When you become such a smooth talker. Anyways, I'm afraid I don't know where they are. Oh, I see. Wonder if there's anyone who could help us scout out the area. 9 a.m., a perfect reasonable time for students to be at school, and yet, I doubt this will be that simple. Bitch, who do I talk to? Hello? Does it tell me to leave? Let's jump over the gate. Oh. Time to bounce. I guess. Tetsuo Tsutsumi. Near the Shiraishi household. Seems like Michio's house is at the end of this road. We don't want to intimidate them, so maybe I should go alone. The houses are really crammed together in these narrow alleyways. Strangers like us walking through definitely stand out. It really feels like old Tokyo. It's quiet. This place is normally pretty lively, full of people coming and going, but it seems like everyone decided to stay inside because of the recent incidents. So the Shiraishi household, there's a chance that Michio didn't actually kill herself. Might be for the best that we didn't find her parents. Arrow's checking the Shiraishi house at the end of the road. The street's real narrow, so the two big guys like us would stick out like a pair of sore thumbs. Does there no talk? Or no, never mind. Alright, I'll go check out the house. Arrow's off checking out the Shiraishi household. I'll just wait till he gets back. So the Shiraishi household, yeah. Oh, you're back. No luck, boss. No one home? Doesn't look like it. I knocked for a while, but nobody came to the door. I glanced in the windows, but there was no sign of activity inside either. And I saw about 3 newspapers stuffed into their mailbox. Time to go in, break into the fucking house. Looks like no one's home right now. Let's try again later. Bro, there's 3 newspapers, bro. They haven't been there in fucking ages. Just check in. Especially with all this murder shit. Like, you cannot currently progress any further. Once your situation has changed, select resume to try again. Pressing suspend will return you to the story chart. Well, can't do anything there. Can't do anything there either. Throughout the night, Richter continues to gather information about the curse stones, while Haru lies awake until dawn, preoccupied by the prospect of bringing her lost child back to life. Haru Shigemiya. Whatever. Shigemiya Mansion. Good morning, ma'am. How are we doing? I'm fine. I hope we can make good progress today. How's your cursed stone looking? I haven't felt anything from it since sunshine. Interesting. It's possible that its powers can only be unleashed at night then. That aside, why are you so late this morning? There are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers, but I did get some research done in what limited time I had. Very well, let's talk. The town is beginning to wake up once more. The clamor of society can be heard from beyond the garden gates. Like any day, a cloud of pollution drifts out from the industrial area. This is the old mansion where I was born and raised. No one's in the mansion at the moment. The door has been locked shut. The housekeeper has already left after cleaning and preparing food. So we don't even know if it is Yuko. We may be surrounded by curses and death, but it matters little. My only concern is whether I could see my child again. He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating. By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. And what's that? Our current plan is to steal a curse stone that's already absorbed soul drags, but I'm wondering if it would suffice to not steal, but instead negotiate with the curse bearer and have them use the right for our purposes. Oh. I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the same, but do you think it's possible? So long as we offer compensation, it may prove much easier than you expect. Compensation? Cash, for instance. That wouldn't be off the table for a family as rich as the Shigemas, would it? Of course. Why, any amount would be fine if it get the job done. I won't let monetary matters lead me to regrets the way it did back with the ransom. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. About the curse bearers. You have any curse bearers with whom we can negotiate in mind? Not yet. Surprisingly, it seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about collecting soul dregs. Did you see the news this morning? No, I haven't. Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in this area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found, but they've been nicknamed the Honjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets. Oh my. Only 3? That's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just 1 or 2 wouldn't be enough soul dregs. And for what those curse stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. With this little activity, although the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch. What's holding them back? Are we not all after the power of resurrection? There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough soul dregs yet. We might have to step up some bait to spur them into action, and then we offer them the deal. None of the curse bearers seem very proactive. I wonder if the situation could be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended. Now, that's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all? You mentioned hearing an agonized voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the curse stone. That doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they are all likely after the rite of resurrection as well. So you're thinking the person is not one of the curse bearers? You've got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it might seem obvious for the mastermind to become a curse bearer and the collect soul dregs if they were after the right, this would be very risky since as a curse bearer, they themselves would become a target. So it would actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively. That's right. But despite that, they've been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect soul dregs themselves? You mean their intention was also to steal the souls while the other curse bearers compete with each other from the start? Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safer course of action, which is why I figured it's best for us to attempt the same strategy. So how should we do it? There's still reasons to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. To be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it is. There's no telling what kind of power they might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we'll have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers. There's all this shit like how we died. Didn't we die via drowning too? Like, I mean, we as Shogo. Like, I'm pretty sure he died the same way. Like, how do you suppose we do so? At this point, all we do is search. If there's any mastermind enticing the curse bearers to collect soul dregs, can we be sure there even is a rite of resurrection? Good question. The rite could be nothing but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bearers into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am? ... Never. Understood. After all, we'll never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves. But we'll do it without using the curse ourselves. By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating into all of them, but I only managed to get detailed information on 2. You're quick. I suppose that's to be expected from an investigative extraordinaire. I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Ayame Tono, the girl we talked before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Midoricho Park. You even determined her address. You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigative Extraordinaire. I called every single university with Yukio E in the curriculum pertaining to be her parent. I went around to check on her place on the way here. It doesn't seem like she returned home last night. I'm worried she might run into some trouble. Didn't you attempt to follow her last night? I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me. I couldn't keep track of her, and here I thought you were an investigator extraordinaire. I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She's planning to steal the curse stones just like us. It's best we act carefully around her. I'm not putting her out as being the game master or whoever the fuck as well, because, you know, you being like very open with it is like you're hiding in plain sight type shit, you know? Next is the tall man who was dressed in black. I met him near Kinshichiro. He stood out with the way he dressed. I managed to get some good information from him. I'm assuming he's talking about the guy, the one that tried to kill Shogo. Impressive. What can I say? He works at the secretary at Hikaku Soaps. Chairman woman, I believe his name is Takumi Yumioka. The Hikaku Soaps headquarters and factories are both located in Honjo, correct? Yes, they've been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years that the company has shown significant growth. I remember seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seems to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I assume she'd want her factories running at full capacity. But with the harsh restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with older equipment had to be shut down. That's right, even 10 years ago, there were many complaints about chemical plants dumping waste into the river. Most companies back then were more concerned with making a profit than protecting the environment. I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. On the way here, I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. I should have better luck later. Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the rite would be beneficial for their product research into beauty and skincare. Ha! Now that's an interesting thought. Ooh, or maybe the bitch is dead, huh? No, never mind. I was thinking about the fucking paranormal police shit where they said that they'll talk to a statue. So I thought maybe the bitch was dead. Maybe the bitch of Honjo soap or whatever soaps. Maybe she's about to die and they're trying to like get ahead of that shit, you know? Maybe she has an illness or some shit. I ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out of collecting soul dregs, right? Ah, indeed. I couldn't get a good look at him, though, and I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him. Well, that's a shame. I can make an educated guess. Oh? You know that researcher who discovered the ancient text on the Rite of Resurrection? The one that lives near here. His name is Hideki Araishi, and the man I met very similar in stature. Oh my, even he is involved? How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair? I think it's possible, yes. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him for the time being, safety first. Understandable. Of course I want to learn more, but this isn't a right time to focus on him. I prefer to ascertain who else is a curse bearer. First, I'll return to Hihaku Soaps to see that man in black. Their headquarters are down on South Warigetsu Street. I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Kamogata High School. The person was identified as a school teacher. His name was Kohei Junuichi. Do you think he was a curse bearer? Not sure, it's possible. But regardless, this means the two people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead. Just when we were getting somewhere. This isn't enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shiroishi's residence. It'd be wise to pay it a visit. Understood. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Honjo serial killings, there's Michio Shiraishi who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasuda Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they're bound to inspire strange rumors. But those last 2 have nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no? It's true, both occurred a week before this accursed situation began. Still, it cannot be ruled out. It's possible that the mastermind was involved even with those killings. How? Because if the motherfuckers are so powerful, right, that, I mean, the storm shit is meant to amplify the powers, right? But if he was already powerful as is, then, you know. Or if there were preliminary steps to awakening the 7 mystery curses, can we really assume they're unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Or rather, the police's death is so baffling that it'd be easier if it were connected to these curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily. You seem to know a lot about this. I suppose we weren't strangers. My personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too. I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind. You're right, if we wish to continue to focus on the mastermind's identity, this would be a fine starting point. We might even discover more deaths related to curses on the way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I have to report. Shall we continue with our investigation? What do you want to do? If you still can't use the curse stone, taking a walk should be a fine place to start. Right, let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself. In that case, I'll trust you to decide on where we should go, ma'am. Let me see one thing. Do we all meet up eventually? We do. Have we seen everything? We have seen everything. This we haven't seen, obviously, but I was curious on whether we all met up at one point. So I remember seeing that image in my head. Where should I go to begin my search? Which places have stood out to me most so far? Well, we'll move in order. South Warigetsu Street. I don't expect much to be done here. The Hihaku Soaps headquarters are on the other side of South Warigetsu. They were closed when I visited this morning, but it appears things are up and running now. He tells me he barely slept last night, and yet he seems so brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what sets apart a detective from the rest. First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It'll be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe or have some tea, perhaps. It'll be better if I go inside the house. Yeah. So an influential person at Hihaku Soaps is potentially a curse bearer. Richter proposed to use money to negotiate for the curse stones, but we could hardly outbid a large corporation if it came down to it. To think a small soap making company could grow so much in a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsu Yamamori is called a queen. Got a picture on the bitch? Nope. A chemical producer that ranks 4th largest in the domestic detergent market and 7th largest in the cosmetics market. From its humble beginnings as a small soap factory established after the war in '46, founder Natsu Yamamori utilized her feminine perspective and a well-timed economic boom to boldly lead the company into new markets. Even as the markets grew crowded with the industrialization of Sumida City, the company continued to expand, digging its roots deep into the area, in particular its establishment itself as a household name by focusing its branding towards the rapidly expanding convenience store market. Its flagship products now include cosmetics, detergents, soap, shampoos, and more. The company's name Hihaku can also refer to kasuri, a type of pattern of fabric. Natsu is the former president of Hihaku Soaps, a large chemical company. Though she retired from her position 2 years ago, she still wields great influence over the company from her position of chairwoman. Recently, there have been rumors about her possessing strange and powerful magical abilities, earning her the nickname the Witch of Hihaku. Prior to the war, Natsu enjoyed working her dream job at a textile factory. She was forced to face the bitter reality of the world. However, when the factory was destroyed by a fire during the war, and she was ordered to rework the fabrics she had painstakingly crafted into something more suitable for blue-collar work. Witnessing the rise in popularity of Western-style clothing in post-war period, Natsu left the textile industry. However, a nod to her past can be seen in the company's name, with Hihaku being another name for kasuri, a type of fabric featuring patterns and images woven with dyed fibers. Having long been dissatisfied with the soap supplied at the textile factory, Natsu saw a business opportunity and set up her own small soap factory, taking inspiration from imported soap brands. She developed new products, which quickly gained a good reputation. Ever the shrewd businesswoman, Natsu ran an aggressive promotional campaign on TV featuring a popular Japanese singer, rapidly turning Hihaku Soaps into a household name. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary. That's correct. Do you think it's possible he's acting on her orders? That's exactly my thinking. A curse bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrecting as their next prize. Because that guy said he'd been doing this for years, that it was her job to, like, look into that shit, you know? Or I forget the specific words since it was the beginning of the game, but negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult. ... Back in the Edo period, the canal known as South Warigesu ran through this area, but it's been turned into a major road. It's a bit away from Kinshichiro Station or Ryogoku Station, though it's still considered a nice area. The stories of the ever-burning lantern and the foot-washing mansion both took place around here. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well. It's quite a lively area, huh? I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city center. A Warigesu partitioning ditch refers to a waterway dug around or down the middle of a road so as to divide it. At the dawn of the Edo period, the Honjo district was a little more than a collection of suburban rice farms. As the area became more developed, the South Warigesu was excavated in order to drain rainwater into Yokojiken River to the east. Though it served the people long and faithfully, it was converted into an underground culvert at the beginning of the Showa era. In the present, no trace of it remains on the surface, but the street that bears its name. I'm going in maybe a while, so feel free to find somewhere to kill time. Okay, good luck in there. So you tell me to go about? Nope, never mind. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I'll fast forward to the conclusion. I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night, but it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer. But that doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. He knew about the 7 mysteries. He even guessed we have a curse stone of our own. Excuse me? I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran into him last night, however. You said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favor that I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you would hand over the curse stone in your possession. Curse stone? What are you on about? There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night. And your arrival here only confirms it. You are a curse bearer, no? ... You're right, we lack time. I'll confess, I am the curse bearer. I possess the curse stone of the haunting clappers. I'm glad to hear it. The truth, finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is dangerous, the item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take the responsibility to dispose of it. And I know the soap business specializes in scrubbing curses. It is a prerogative of Miss Yamamori. Is that so? Assuming you obtain the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of a god. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it's now the site of these curses run rampant. So you're telling me the Queen of Hihaku is a real-life witch. She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamyoto who's gallantly working behind the scenes, exercising spirits and the like. Go on. That being so, there have been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? The curses were speaking of tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable actions. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that curse stone at once. Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now. ... We have 6. 6? Whoa, I can rest at ease then. And here I thought I was at risk for being cursed. It seems we're on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping it in hiding. Really now. Then I'll accompany you while you retrieve it. I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to, but I promise I'll return it later on. ... Very well. And then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume. How prudent of you, I'll oblige. And that's how it went. So they aren't after the right after all. I wouldn't be so quick to trust him. Oh? I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone. I think he was lying about having procured 6 curse stones as well. Like, really 6? That's excessive. Well, now I feel gullible. The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the curse stones. He seemed rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul dregs. Perhaps the people at Hihaku are the masterminds behind the curses being unleashed. Because the chairwoman's a witch? I wonder about that too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went, or he's trying to spread a rumor. For what purpose would he do that? Recently, people have been caught up about the occult more than ever before. If word spreads that Hihaku's chairwoman has godlike powers, she could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystique. That's unsettling. What did you say? What name? You mentioned a name. And there's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamyoto who's gallantly working behind the scenes. See, I feel like we've heard that name before. Like, I don't know if that's the name of the person that's teaching, Mio? Yeah, because I remember, where is it? Gamyoto. No, it's Nakagoshi. Nakagoshi was the guy that was, I'm pretty sure if I remember right, Nakagoshi was the guy that Hajime told Okuda to deliver the shit to if something were to happen to him, right? I'm pretty sure. So yeah, so he already knew about the paranormal affairs shit, or maybe he didn't. He's just someone he could trust, right? Oh god. Yeah, fuck, I don't give a shit. We should avoid Hihaku for the time being. It'll be a pain if I have to deal with Takumi again. By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby, and what's that? People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of a Hihaku employee. Really? As long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation, though. Despite that, I have reason to believe Hihaku Shops is deeply involved with the 7 mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you I've gathered that much. And the more we know, the better our negotiations will go. It's also that shit with Yoko. Like, what did she see to make her confused as shit? You know what I mean? I say I didn't care about my hair, but then I'm worried about it now. Whatever. How interesting that the Queen of Hihaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the rite of resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what it is or isn't true, we must stay one step ahead. Talk to him. Yeah. Got nothing regarding that. You don't have anything. In the meantime, we should be off somewhere else. There's no reason to stick around any longer. Let's head to Midoricho Park. One second. We're here at the Midoricho Park. Ayame Tono lives around here. She wasn't in her apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. It seems picking up Ayame's trail is out of the question for now. Why did we even come here? Bitch, we came here to fucking investigate, bitch. This place is connected with the story of the Taiko Sugaru. Not only that, Katsuhika Hokusai home was also in this area. That might be why Ayame chose to live here. A small park bordering South Warrior Getsu Street, sporting a mixture of cherry and evergreen trees. Although unremarkable in most respects, its small playground always attracts a number of children come evening. While no trace remains of the modern day, it stands on that was once the site of Sugaru Estate. The legendary artist Katsushika Hokusai is also believed to have been born in the vicinity. She is obsessed. It's always heartwarming to see children playing at the park. Richter seems to like kids, perhaps because they're on the same wavelength. It's fucked up. We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go check out Ayame's apartment? You don't mean to speak with her, do you? No, I'd prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace of her movement. Then be my guest. Okay, I shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am. So, nothing? I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping a watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building it's in. Interesting. You got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite them being so covert. What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on her door or looking through her window. Wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately. You were planning to go that far? I guess, yeah, you could see if they were inside, huh? If the usage was too high. We won't make much progress sticking around here. Okay, well, we gotta bounce then. Let's head to Komagata High School. Komagata High School front gate. Oh, stretch. Oh God. Here we are at Ground Zero, Komagata High School. I guess it's logical that the police got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. Oh, God. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now and the school's closed. Fuck. Let me check up one thing. Wait, what? Ah, okay, never mind. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Don't worry about it. The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend in. Seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited. This place is intended to be connected with the story of the Fool's Procession, and I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I'd need to find out if that teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled since they don't know about the curses. I can ask around and see what the students have to say. Inquire. Alright, I'll go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am. So what did you learn? That school kids sure love a good rumor. I was particularly drowning in stories about Mr. Junoichi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best. Not surprising. Most of what I heard was hardly worth a second thought, but there was one story that caught my attention. Oh? Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Junoichi. Really? The story got two pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. My fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. And then it spread like wildfire. I suppose rumors that juicy don't stay a secret for long. As for the other pieces of evidence, a pigtailed girl in her school uniform was seen around the school late last night. Go on? Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio brought back to life or that it was her vengeful spirit. It's not like Michio is the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumor might have been made up just to fan the flames. But if it were true, I want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping. If she's alive, then it'd be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered where Michio lived. The student had a list of student dresses on hand. Yeah. That's an amazing find. I believe all of the students actually have a copy of said list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands. Well, so far it hasn't, no? Sure, let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shirishi's house. It could have been the power, because obviously we saw What's-His-Face appear there at night. It could have been the power of, who was it? It could have been the power of the ever-burning lantern, and then it could have been the combination of two things, right? Like, it was just super dark as shit, so like, one, the guy was fucking insane, right? Because he thought What's-Her-Face was after her. So he could just been insane on a separate note. And then it could have been... I'm backtracking that kind of. I was gonna say maybe the darkness like affected him, but it's also, did he even have the power at the time? I forgot to check the storyline to see if those coincided with each other. I can imagine the students are uneasy after learning of the murder. It may do them well to stay home for some time, if not for fear for their safety. The police are probably too wrapped up in solving the case to be concerned about the students' mental health. I can see that. Oh, wait. Oh, shit. Okay, well. I meant to start that again, but... it's important that society provides a safe environment for that benefit of our youth. Some school policies could use some rewriting, especially those handling the student personal information. That's right. I don't want a student being kidnapped on their way back home ever again. I expect criminals to grow more cunning as time passes. There may be times where the authorities can't keep up. That's where outlaws such as myself come in. So yeah, I mean, the guy knew where the fuck you lived, right? On top of you being a famous individual, right, with your family, like, they knew exactly where your son was gonna be walking. What's this about? Actually, just forget I said anything. Yeah, just going into his backstory of how he doesn't trust the police. Or not that he trusts it, but he thinks they're competent. Not because of the people, but just because of, like, the politics behind it. Appears to be wary of these police officers. Maybe the police really do have something against private investigators, just like in those detective novels. I mean... Obviously, vigilant, like... Everyone wishes they could be Batman, right? Like, doing whatever the fuck they want. But, you know, there's also some shit that, you know, is against the law, right? Like, just Batman just grabs anyone and beats them the fuck up, right? For information. Which ends up getting the thing, or getting the information he needs, but a cop can't just straight up do that, so... Yeah. Not saying... private investigators can do that, right? But they can do a little bit more. than cops, because obviously police, there's a fucking list of shit that you have to go through to be able to do an investigation. You have to fucking inform people and shit like that, you know, like it has to be approved, and yeah. But she was home. I expect her family might be able to tell us more, but it's a hard topic to bring up so soon after her suicide. However, it's normal for a high school girl to keep things hidden from her parents, especially if it involves criminal activity. I assume this is where we meet our boys. Nope, it is not. How did it go? Went to visit Michio Shirishi's family home. However, no one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door, and all the lights were out. Seems to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspapers out front. It's a bit quieter over here. It's a residential area after all. All these rundown row houses really scream working class, don't they? Think. I don't understand why no one's come to this house even after Michio committed suicide. I wonder if this place is okay. I never like these messy and cultured back streets. They give me the jitters every time. It's reassuring to have someone as strong and tall as Richter accompany me. He looks so unfazed. I suppose a detective is used to this kind of thing, always investigating and chasing criminals. I wouldn't mind cut out for it. I wouldn't be cut out for it. Well, bitch, you were fucking lucky to be born in a fucking very rich family, a fucking mansion. Like, damn, bitch. This place isn't even that ghetto. Social connections run deep in the working class area like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. I met a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out the Shirishi's reputation really went down the dumps this past year. Is that so? I'll give you the quick summary. They moved here about 3 years ago. The previous residence was in a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mom, Toshiko, now a single mother, relocated here. How did you get this information? Oh, okay. At first they got along with their neighbors, many of which were in similar situations, helping and being helped in turn. So far so good. What happened? Well, as I said, the reputation began to go downhill about a year ago. A man recognized as Toshiko's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kanichiro Iwai. Neighborhood gossip is somehow everyone knew his name. So what of this Iwai character? He is apparently a vulgar fellow with a criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts, and the neighbors often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. Neighbors took particular notice of Toshiko screams pleading with him not to hit Michio. That's terrible. As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbors also began to hear an eerie chanting. Through this, the Shirishis standing in the neighborhood plummeted rapidly. Yeah, they're standing. Okay, so yeah, the abuse was not a rumor, or it's a rumor, but it's probably true. Toshiko was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. She stopped responding to her neighbors. She would just turn the other way when greeted. They kept their storm shutters closed even during the day and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community. That sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something? Unfortunately, under our current law, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes? That's awful. And then Michiro reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with the Y, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Yeah, ever since, Y hasn't returned home. Many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many were fed up with the Shirishis entirely and seemed relieved that things quieted down again. It seemed that they were still considered outsiders even after 3 years of living here. I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish, good-for-nothing in the first place? To help out with the money, bitch. Like, in her head, she was sacrificing her mental health for stability for her daughter in her head, right? I've heard many stories where one partner's personality does a complete turn after entering a relationship. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worse. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school as possible. She fell victim to sweet promises. Life can be tough, I suppose. You don't seem moved by the story, ma'am. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories. Fuck you, bitch. Collect all information on persons of interest. Oh, is this everyone in the game? The common law husband of Michio Shiraishi's mother, Toshiko Shiraishi. Yeah. Kanshiro started coming and going from the Shiraishi household a little over a year ago. It seems he has served some time in prison, and the details are unknown. Really? This is everyone in the game. So one of the people that started this shit... Who the fuck are you? Oh, the son. So one of the people that started this fucking storm is on here. That's fucking crazy. I'm pretty sure that's what the achievement said. Collect all information on the persons of interest. I don't like that they gave me that achievement because it kind of lets me know that like it's one of us. It's not a fucking mysterious character we haven't seen before. Oh, so you came here too. ... What is it? Oh, can we turn? No. Could you repeat what you know one more time for me, Richter? I mean, you guys are friends. I don't expect you to pop off.